It is absolutely freezing outside and I'm craving something warm, flavorful, and comforting, almost like a mini escape to the tropical beaches of Tulum. Weirdly enough, this chicken tortilla soup does just the trick for me. It's loaded with tender chicken, a rich and cozy broth, a little bit of heat, and all of the freshest toppings that make every single bite packed with flavor. You're in luck because I'm going to show you exactly what to do step by step on how to make this incredible soup at home so you can also pretend like you're on a warm beach vacation, even if it's actually snowing outside. Step 1, dice up a medium-sized white or yellow onion. Start by chopping off the very top of the onion, leaving the root intact, then slice it in half. Peel off all of the skin in the first layer of the onion, then make vertical slits by dragging your knife downwards, moving from the right side of the onion to the left. Keeping that root on the onion allows for everything to kind of hold together, so all you have to do is really make sure that your cuts are straight. Now we'll turn our onion sideways and make regular cuts by going the opposite way, and as you'll see, this gives us perfectly diced onion pieces. Now, if you guys saw my last video, I asked you for some tips on how to avoid that burning sensation you get when chopping onions, and I got some really great feedback. So check out these tips that actually work and let me know if you have anything else that we can add to the list. Now, this next step is super important and gives us that Tulum level of heat, so make sure you're watching closely. Dice up 1 serrano pepper by chopping off the top and slicing horizontally down the middle. Next, using a spoon, remove the seeds and all of the white membrane so you get all of the flavor but aren't in actual pain while enjoying your soup. Or keep everything there. It just depends on what level of spice you prefer. Also, I like to switch it up here. You could use serrano peppers, jalapenos, bell peppers, or maybe even a cayenne pepper would be really yummy in this recipe. Just something flavorful because as you'll see here coming up, this is going to be the entire flavor base for our soup. Okay, before we move over to the stove, we've got one more special ingredient to prep that is literally going to take our soup to the next level. Yes, I'm talking homemade tortilla strips. They're crunchy and salty and the perfect soup topper, and they're actually so easy to make. So we're going to take a little stack of white corn tortilla shells and slice them up into strip-like pieces. Now let's move over to the stove and fry these babies up. In a heavy bottomed pan, heat up about 1/4 cup of high heat cooking oil like avocado and toss your tortilla strips in. Cook these for about 5 to 10 minutes depending on what type of texture you like. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend stirring them around too much because as you'll see, mine got a little bit crushed up. Thankfully, after I removed them from the heat and placed them on a paper towel lined plate, I seasoned them with a little bit of Celtic sea salt and they tasted absolutely delicious. Now this next part might be controversial, but I think it's easy, delicious, and the quickest to make. Shred up an entire rotisserie chicken, making sure to remove the skin. I've tested a couple different methods on how to do this efficiently, but honestly, I haven't totally figured it out. If you have any tips or tricks on how to cut up an entire chicken, leave me a comment below or link me a video that you watched and found helpful on doing so. Either way, the point is to remove all of the chicken off of the bones, shred it up, and set it aside for our soup. At this point, I'm really wishing I had some gloves, a hairnet, or maybe even a second pair of hands to get this done faster. But I stand by using a rotisserie chicken. It's quick, easy, and it's so good. Now back to the stove. Like I said earlier, the onion and serrano pepper are going in first with about 1/4 cup of olive oil and a dash of sea salt. Stir these up and let it cook for about 5 minutes. In the meantime, let me introduce to you my very special sous chef. Her name is Nova and she's the best little assistant in the kitchen. Keeps me on my toes and is always the first one to notice when my kitchen starts smelling delicious. I gave her a little treat and thanked her for her hard work and dedication to this YouTube channel. Now we're going to give our onion and pepper a little stir and add in some more flavor. I added in some minced garlic, garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, and chili powder. I usually just measure with my heart at this point, but maybe start with half a teaspoon of each and work your way up from there. At this point, your kitchen probably smells like heaven, but don't stop here because this next step is really going to take it to another level. Add in 1 full carton of chicken broth, 1 can of crushed tomatoes, and my secret ingredient, which is 1 can of Rotel tomatoes. Stir this up until well combined, then add in 1 can of rinsed black beans, 1 can of sweetened corn. Mix this up again, then add in your shredded chicken. At this point, all of the components have been added, but now we just want to really let these flavors meld and come together. Turn the heat down to medium-low and let it simmer for at least 30 minutes, but the longer the better. In the meantime, let's get back into the kitchen and we'll start prepping the very best part of this entire recipe, the toppings. So for the toppings on a chicken tortilla soup, you want to choose things that really enhance the flavor of the broth. Think fresh, citrusy, crunchy, tangy, creamy. You can really go in so many directions here. For my toppings, I'm opting for some finely chopped cilantro, obviously our homemade tortilla strips, Monterey Jack cheese. Always buy the block and grate up the cheese yourself because the pre-shredded cheese from the grocery store is full of additives that help it from clumping, but it really changes the flavor and the way that it melts into your soup. We're also adding some fresh lime wedges so we can squeeze that into our soup. Make sure you pick out the limes with the smoothest skin at the grocery store because these tend to be way more juicy. This works for lemons, limes, oranges, pretty much any type of citrusy fruit. And for the last topping, we're gonna slice up an avocado into very thin slices so we can lay that right on top of our soup. And that's pretty much it. Comment below if you have any other topping suggestions. I've seen some people do raw red onion, hot sauce, cornbread. The options are really so endless here, so just play around and see what you like best. At this point, there is only one thing left to do, and that is plating up and enjoying our delicious, cozy, and warming chicken tortilla soup. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post a new video every single Friday where I show you how to make delicious, easy, and healthy recipes in 30 minutes or so. Also, comment below if you try this recipe out or if you have any suggestions on what I should make for next week. I read and respond to every single one of your comments, and I love hearing from you. So give me some feedback in the comments. And with that, thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. That is the best soup I've ever had.